Welcome to Colorful Journeys of Success. Listen to and watch our fascinating guests as they share colorful stories of success and how they help inspire. Now, here's Claire, the color wheeling lady and our host.
Welcome to Colorful Journey of Success. I'm so glad that you joined us tonight because we've got a wonderful show, because we have a wonderful guest. And his name is Dustin Perot, right?
Right.
Okay. And Dustin is he's an intern here at KMVT, which is a very important position. He's learning all about the industry, he's learning about television, and he's going to share with us other things that he's learning. So it's my pleasure to welcome Dustin.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming. All right. How exciting. You are an intern here. What does that feel like?
It feels like another day at the office of learning something new, and I just am thrilled to be a person that lends out a helping hand, so to speak.
Oh,
that's how I look at it.
And so you're helping the studio. You're helping us.
Yes.
But you're also helping the people who are watching, the viewers, because you're going to be talking about yourself and how you've achieved success, and that's what really important.
Right.
We learn from each other, right?
We definitely do.
Okay.
And from the friends and family that we meet.
Yes. And your story is interesting because you said that you have a condition or autism. Is that a...
high-functioning autism with a learning disability in the mix.
Okay. So you have a challenge, don't you?
Yeah. I couldn't talk until I was 5, but later on, my dad and my grandmother from elementary school until, like, I guess near high school have noticed that I had a learning disability.
And so, but you are now at San Jose State. San Jose State College, right?
San Jose State University.
University, pardon me. So now what is your goal? And what is your major?
Oh, my major is in RTVF, which is radio, television, and film production.
Wow. And so this is the perfect place for you to intern, right?
I believe so far. The semester is not just done yet.
That's true. That's true. Well, just a little bit about your background. Do you remember who your mentor was?
I want to say Tom Cruise, but I don't think that would be appropriate in terms of like personal stuff, even though he's my #1 favorite actor of all time.
I see.
But my real mentor would be my dad, because he's always been there from beginning up until recently, but doesn't want to quit.
Okay.
And that's definitely a good thing.
That's wonderful. Now, do you remember a particular teacher that really was inspiring to you?
Well, I remember 2 of them, actually. One of them from a community college, another one from a university that I still go to today.
Okay. And how would you describe, what did they do to inspire you?
Actually, the first teacher, shout out to Jim Callner, he was an acting teacher at West Valley Community College. And he understood how an actor works. He also told us how we could use those techniques in order to become our own actor and define what kind of acting skills we have. And most of all, he was a good person to talk to, and he talked to me like I was a regular human being, not just someone with autism or a learning disability who has some flaws here and there in terms of independent living skills.
Well, I understand. I don't know too much about autism, but I understand there's a lot of people that have autism, and they are high functioning, and they are very successful in life.
Even one of my sisters, my first oldest sister, is amazed I made it this far.
Well, you surprised her, didn't you?
Indeed, I did.
Yes. Well, good for you. Good for you.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, this show is also, kind of the theme is, work it like you mean it. Like really, really, if you want to be successful, you do have to work it like you mean it. And that's why I thought maybe my fun shirt would be appropriate. And so whenever I have projects, specific projects around the house or business or whatever, sometimes I put this shirt on because I feel so motivated, and that's what's really exciting, absolutely exciting. And then, you know, when you think about doing any type of a project or job or whatever, you need the gloves to make it work. So I brought these cute little gloves.
Aww.
Even though these are garden gloves.
I thought they were kitchen gloves.
Or kitchen gloves. But it's kind of like when you have the right glove on. You want to put one on?
Sure.
There's something about wearing a glove or having the right tool in your hand.
That agrees with you.
And then, you know, to really do a good job, one needs a tool, some kind of a tool. And I grabbed a tool from my toolbox, and there's a lot of things this tool can do.
Mm-hmm.
But we have so many tools in our world, right?
Yeah, we definitely do.
Right? So how does it feel when you have a glove on that you can really do a job?
Well.
Do a job well, okay.
Right. Actually, once you do the job well, the glove seems to agree with the job you're doing. In other words, it doesn't wear out if you do it right. Kind of like the coworkers that you work with have noticed that if you really put enough effort into doing the job right and good enough, they make a comment about it or just say, good job, you did very well.
So,
I know that from experience.
Yeah. Okay, so this is, you know, sometimes visuals really make the difference. And so I thought these gloves would be really specific to our topic.
Yeah. Also, I would like to comment that I noticed that when I lived in the dorms since the fall of 2014 in San Jose State, I've always seen these logos all around school of a Spartan. And one of my inspirations of going to that specific college was, one, it was 10 minutes away from my dad's house, but the most important one was the fact that it reminded me of those Halo Xbox games, because they had super soldier Spartans who protected humanity at all costs, and San Jose State is home of the San Jose State Spartans, so thought that was a good motivational connection.
Ah, fantastic. Well, what about sports? Would you ever want to be in sports? The Olympics, maybe?
One could dream, but I'm not sure if I would be that qualified into going to those Special Olympics or regular Olympics. I enjoy watching them from time to time with my mom sometimes.
Yes. Well,
especially the one in Beijing.
Yeah, oh yeah. I've been watching the trials. And so they're trying to put their team together. The U.S. is trying to put their team together in the different sports. And you know, you kind of get hooked, kind of watching the contestants or the sports people, and so it must be so thrilling to actually get to the point where you are actually at the Olympics and you're competing, and then if you win, what a feeling that must be. It must be so invigorating.
Let's just say or someone I know of, my dad, shout out to my dad, hi Dad, he almost had one great experience of achieving something very great as that. He went to a San Jose Sharks game in the Stanley Cup Finals, where it was, I believe, game 5 or 6, correct me if I'm wrong on either one, where he saw the Stanley Cup in person for the first time in 25 years of Sharks history. Even though we did lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins, we still made 2 winning game efforts of getting close to the Stanley Cup.
Oh.
And let's just say he crossed something off on his bucket list there. That I can promise you.
Speaking of bucket lists, what's on your bucket list?
Well, I've always wanted to go to Egypt thanks to those mummy movies.
Okay.
I've always been fascinated by Egyptian history.
Why is that?
Well, I guess after watching the mummy movies and getting some backstory about how the culture was in terms of like how the movie sees it compared to like how the school sees it, like in Bret Hart and Leland High School. It's something about it, like the story about the gods and the city life that they had and before it was all desert. It caught my attention at some time.
Yes,
and it seemed very, very interesting for me when I was a kid.
When you were a kid. So now that you're an adult, is it still fascinating?
In passing, but I still would like to visit Egypt nonetheless to check out the pyramids and the temples, just see what it's all about.
Oh,
in person, I think.
Okay, so that's one thing on your bucket list for sure.
Yes, like I said, one could dream. Hopefully that dream comes true, though.
That's right. That sounds good to me. I think one thing on my bucket list is I'd like to travel to, there's this tiny little island in the Azores in the middle of the ocean, and it's a Portuguese colony, a Portuguese group of islands, and the name of it is Flores, which is Portuguese, flowers in Portuguese.
Makes sense.
It sounds, you know, I've read about it, and it sounds like a wonderful little island. So that's maybe one of the things on my bucket list. And so I'm not sure I'm going to go make it, but I would very much like to. That's one thing. I guess what's on my bucket list?
Maybe go to Thailand. That's my dad's favorite place to go to all over the world.
That would be really interesting.
If you ever go on a trip with him and run into him one day, you and him would get along just fine in terms of, like, the experience.
The experience. Okay. All right. That sounds good. Okay. Well, let's get back to you. We can talk about my bucket list, but I think you're the guest, and you're important, and it's very you're fascinating. You're absolutely fascinating. So, what do you find challenging, and the most challenging, and the most exciting being an intern right now?
Oh, being an intern. Just completing my learning objectives, making connections with that. That's my challenge in terms of, like, my logs and making sure I'm doing my assignments right because it's an online class. And it lasts until August 12th this semester.
Okay, August 12th. So it's coming up.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's coming up. Very
And also
good.
Next month is my birthday, August 8th.
Oh, August 8th. Well, I'll say happy birthday now because I won't see you on August 8th.
Feel free to say that to Dustin Hoffman and one of my uncles, because believe it or not, they both have a common birthday as I do.
Oh, no kidding. How about that? Okay.
I've done my research, let's just say that.
Very good. So I have, going back to what's exciting and challenging. I know that the teachers here at KMVT are fantastic. I remember walking in and meeting you, at talking with Mark, and he's wonderful. I think everyone here is so
He may be serious for the good reasons, but wonderful nonetheless. I agree with that.
So what do you find that is maybe challenging?
Challenging, I think I already mentioned that, but the exciting thing I like is to come up with ideas that I could come up with in my noggin here and make it come into fruition. And once it's accepted, they could push on the gas pedal, so to speak, and make that project happen. And other ones too, such as PSAs and studio projects. Hopefully one day while I'm here before the semester is out, I'll be able to promote Mass Effect, New Earth, a 4D holographic journey. Kind of an attraction. It's a motion simulator in a theater, but hopefully we can use this to promote the ride and spread the word.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, just for the heck of it, if you were working here and they actually gave you a top position, and that is to develop this studio even more than it is now, what ideas would you come up with?
Well, I would come up with like 30-minute shows for like people who are gamers or who are big movie fans or ones who really like popular TV shows such as Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Star Trek that may be coming up on Netflix. You heard it here first. And shows like that.
Okay, so now
what talk about the lore and what brought them to become that kind of a fan.
And so what did bring them? What you said you wanted to bring that. What did bring them?
What did bring them? I guess after watching a few times, something clicked in terms of like not just the action of like all the bang bang and then the headshot gore, but the human element for like example, say Walking Dead. It's more than an apocalypse. It's more of like loss plus the human side of things combined into that one show. It really, I believe, what made it successful and recently became a walkthrough attraction at Universal Studios Hollywood. Opened on the 4th of July.
So now you mentioned earlier that you have autism.
Yes.
Now, is that a challenge to where you want to go?
Sort of. It depends on the subject I'm learning and how much I can relate to that subject.
And what are some of the little tricks that you use in order to relate?
I relate from like my personal experiences, what I've looked up, and what interests me and not interest me.
Okay.
In order to like know which one's hard, which one's easy to like comprehend.
All right. So
like math.
What might you say to other people that are maybe not as high functioning as you? Maybe other people that have autism, to maybe encourage and motivate them. What would you say to them?
Well, I would start off with the kids, of course, and then the parents later. But for the kids, I would say maybe have an open mind. Always stay positive no matter what, in terms of what people say to you or just bring you down, no matter how real their honesty is in terms of what you're experiencing, and make the best with what you have in life.
Okay, that's excellent advice to anyone. I mean, whether it's autism or whatever, and there's a lot of people that do have learning disabilities, myself included in a way, but I can see that type of advice being so perfect. So
I imagine
perfect.
it would be.
Yes. Well, you know, we have this wonderful studio here in Sunnyvale, or in Mountain View, and it's opening up to, I guess now, Sunnyvale and Los Altos and
Morgan Hill.
Morgan Hill. I don't know enough about public access television to know if they can use this studio, or would they establish a new studio in Morgan Hill or in San Jose. I don't.
That could be interesting in San Jose.
Yes, I don't know enough about it. You think that'd be possible?
I don't know. I would leave that up to the people high on top in terms of the ones that work at KMVT and make things happen.
Right. And I think now we have Bobby, and he's in charge. I think if anybody can make things happen.
He's a good egg, too.
Yeah, I think that might just happen. So, okay, so what would you, going back to San Jose State, how much longer do you have to go? How much longer is your...
Oh, until I graduate.
Right, to graduate.
Oh, I have at least until next spring or summer, depending on how many classes I have left. All I know is that I have 5 or 4 classes left, including this one, and then I should be eligible for graduation.
And what are those classes?
They are radio, television, and film production classes. I believe, actually one of them is a GE requirement, which is, I believe, sound communication. Hopefully I do well on that. And I also have something from theater arts, maybe, and then 2 other classes on the wait list, like a radio class, which I've done before, and possibly another alternative cinema class, which I got a B on last time. So, hooray!
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good. And, you know, when you mentioned in the beginning of this interview something about acting, I mean, you're a very nice-looking man.
Thank you.
So I certainly can see you in an acting position.
I've taken some acting classes up until San Jose State, but when I mentioned the 2 teachers that gave me inspiration, I forgot to mention one at San Jose State, which was Allison McKee. Shout out to her as well. She opened my mind in terms of switching gears from being an actor to possibly being a film historian, because I've been amazed as much as I have with Egyptian history, relations to film history.
Yes.
I thought, wow, I could definitely relate to this and understand this and pass these classes like that.
And that would be exciting. That would be very exciting. I think film history, when I think about all the movies that I started going to as I was a child, and I'm considerably older than you are, but that would be so exciting to have that. And I think it's kind of like the computer museum here in Mountain View.
I've only been there once with one of my first oldest uncles. Superb.
And it'd be wonderful to see a museum like that for film. And maybe there is one. Is there?
I don't know. I heard rumors that there's going to be an Oscars museum in L.A.
Oh.
But it's just rumors.
Yes. Would you like to be a part of that?
Well, if that means moving out of San Jose, I'm not too sure. If it means staying here, then yes.
How about creating one yourself? here?
I never really thought of that. That could be one possibility.
Mm-hmm. Put it on your bucket list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thought.
Yeah, that would be fun, and I'm sure with all
I might
your...
consider it.
Okay, well, just think about it. So let's see. So after you graduate, then what's your next step after you graduate?
My next step is to find a job somewhere in terms of my career relations, and then keep my other job at Great America as like a secondary support job in terms of finances.
What would you like to do at Great America beyond where you are now?
Well, I know I've been accepted as a scare actor at Halloween Haunt.
Oh.
Been doing it since 2013, and been enjoying that as much as my other job
So
position.
you are acting.
Yes. Well, actually, believe it or not, when I first became a scare actor, I looked around one maze I was in, even though I don't want to name it yet. But I remember that the more I was in the maze, walked around, the more I thought, oh, that's the kind of actor I want to be, a scare actor. Because everywhere you go, it's not a set. You're actually in a movie.
Ah. Okay. Describe the character. Describe the character if you were a scare actor. The costume and everything.
Actually, I was two kind of characters. One that was like an undead hillbilly with a glass eye, even though he was wearing a mask, but yeah. And he was in the first maze I was in, and I had to embody him. And it is as if that after I portrayed him for at least 4 weekends, I felt like I made another imaginary friend persona that would help me in terms of scare acting. But last year...
Can you make a face right now to scare me? Oh, that's pretty good.
If I had makeup on, I'd be a lot more scary.
Yeah, and a costume. Actually, I was formerly a costume designer, so that was a lot of fun.
I bet we could use you at the Halloween Haunt Great America in terms of costume design.
Oh, that'd be fun. I even have costumes, so.
Excellent.
Okay, I hadn't thought about that.
I was also a mental patient at a maze called Insanitarium last year.
Oh.
That maze won Maze of the Year. I was very proud of that milestone.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
Every sense of the word.
Yeah, very, very good. Okay, so how would you teach other people to be a scare actor?
Well, first you would have to find a song that would tap into your mind in terms of what mood you're in to prepare your character. Second, you would have to have like something else playing in your mind at the same time. One thing in your mind that would tap into your like darker side, but in control though, so that way you won't be like one of those, like for example, the Columbine killers that are like, oh, we're gonna kill people in real life, but no. It's more confined. So basically, clear your mind with one safe dark side, play like some sort of dark music like Disturbed, great band, and other songs or tunes from movies that would work in terms of like something dark. And then combine that as step 3 and keep your distance from touching people, because scare actors are not allowed to touch people.
Oh.
I've been doing a very good job at that so far.
Sounds scary.
That's the idea.
That's the whole idea. Well, then you're successful if it sounds scary, right?
Yeah, and also, I also forgot to mention, 4th thing, remember that the guests are having fun with fear.
Now that is an enticing thought.
Sure
Having
is.
fun with fear.
I learned that in 2008.
Well, if I were going to ask you one particular question before we close out this show,
Right.
I want you to give me a wow. You know what a wow is?
Like, wow, that's amazing.
Yes, but it's a little bit different. It's a word of wisdom. So
Let
a
it be.
phrase, a word of wisdom to give to leave you're going to leave the viewers with a picture of you as well as a thought. So what would be a wow? Give us a wow.
A wow.
Well, you can think about that, and I'll ask you another question, and I'll come back to that. So be thinking about it.
Sure, of course.
Okay, so, well, it really has been an absolute pleasure interviewing you. You're a fascinating person, You're certainly inspirational, and I wish you the best of luck. And
I think I do have a wow, actually.
Okay, give us a wow now.
Well, definitely, since I'm going to San Jose State, you could picture me as a one of those super soldier Spartans with those SWAT helmets that are like teal and white, just like this. And that picture would represent the future graduates of fellow Spartan students, no matter if they're autistic or not.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to leave the audience
So
with.
3 words would be what?
Spartan, future Spartan graduate.
Okay. So what would your wow be, the word of wisdom to them to become?
It would be, I have a quote actually. It would be
3 words.
The future belongs to those who prepare for it.
I love it. Good for you.
Thank you.
And like I said, work it like you mean it, right?
Exactly.
This has been great interviewing you. Thank you so much. Good luck to you. I hope you much success with your bucket list and everything, your goals and everything at San Jose State, and inspire other people with autism. I'm sure you will.
I'm sure I will as well.
Okay, so
without a doubt.
Colorful Journey of Success. Thank you so much for joining our show. Wasn't he wonderful? I think this has been a really fun interview, very informative, inspirational. So if you would like to be interviewed on Colorful Journey of Success, let me know. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to interview you. My name is Claire Mullen, producer and host of Colorful Journey of Success. And I wish you so much success for the rest of your life. Bye for now.